Hey guys, this is Sean Waller, also known as Sean Your Realtor. Continue to educate yourself because this business is always evolving. Just continue to learn. With it. Talk to you guys later. What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Strictly Free Game Podcast. I am Sean Waller, Sean Your Realtor. Whatever you want to call me, just make sure you call me. I have my guy here today, right? There's not a lot of people in this world that could go by one name, right? You got Oprah, you got Beyonce, you got Femi The Agent, you know what I mean? So when you say Fem, everybody know who you talk about.
What up, what up, what up?
Fem, what's going on, bro?
Nothing, I'm chilling, man. How are you?
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming through, bro.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yo, you are truly the OG. He's the young OG, right? I'm calling him young OG because
Thank you, I like that. I like the young OG, yeah. I'll go with that.
Listen, Femi he's a beast in real estate, right? Close out like maybe, I don't even know how many deals you do. Yeah, I just know you do a lot of them. And he's a super sneakerhead.
Thank you, man.
Like he pulled up with some kicks today. I'm like, yo, Fem, what the hell are those? I never even seen those before.
Yeah, you know, I had to pull something out, something crazy. I know I was coming to see you, so you know.
Nah, that's why I had to pull something out myself. But I can't even talk. What are those before you even start? What you got on your feet?
These Jordan 5 Dawn Betches. So these I think dropped maybe 9 or 10 years ago. Wow. It was one of the collaborations that Jordan did with the Dawn Betcher, the Children's Hospital. Okay. These are super limited. So this particular pair, a kid that he was sick. I forgot what he had exactly, but he got to design these, and the kid plays baseball and basketball. So you have a number 31 here for his basketball number, and then number 9 here for his baseball number. He played both sports, and you know he got a chance to design a pair of kicks, and you know these came out really dope. And these actually glow in the dark. So
yeah, he was showing me those. They actually glow, they come with a black light, right?
They come with a black light, yeah.
It's crazy, bro.
So if you've seen Gone in 60 Seconds, then you know the scene with the black light.
Yeah.
Then you know what I'm talking about.
It's dope. It's dope. How do you remember all of this stuff when it comes to the kicks anyway, though? Like, is this?
I don't know. I think just years of when you collect them, it's just certain things. It's just like second nature. You know what I mean? So.
Do you know how many sneakers you have in your collection right now? If you think off the top of your head?
I'm close to 200.
Close to 200?
Yeah. They have more than that, but I give away a couple pairs to my kids. So, okay. I mean, thank God we don't wear the same size anymore.
I just want to say that.
At least me and my son don't wear the same size. Me and my daughter does. So whenever she comes by, she wants to sometimes borrow a pair of kicks. So what can you do?
That's fire. That's fire.
Thanks, man.
When did you start collecting kicks?
I mean, I've been loving sneakers since I was like 17, 18. But growing up, because it was 5 of us, 2 brothers, 2 sisters, you know, a lot of the stuff that I wanted, I couldn't get. So I had to get out there early and start working. I started working when I was 12. I was a paper boy. But collecting, I would say probably maybe like 20 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you've been doing it before sneakerhead was even a sneakerhead.
Before sneakerhead was even a thing. Before they had a sneakers app on Nike, I've been doing it for a minute.
That's
when you could actually walk into the store, there was no line. Yeah. You could pick out what you wanted, and you just, you copped and go. You copped and went. But now it's just like a completely different thing.
It's mayhem, man, bro.
You gotta get up at 6 in the morning, 4 in the morning, walk the dog, and then go get online and get your sneakers. So it's just a crazy thing right now.
Though the sneaker business is crazier than the housing market. If you really want to compare it, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you have the right connect, you know, you have a lot of people who they make that into a business now. I mean, nowadays you can make anything into a business, right? So you can buy a pair of sneakers for certain ones that may drop in. It's like super limited retail or box price. You pay $200 or $300 for them, and you can flip them for like $1,500 or $2,000.
It's crazy.
Depending on the sneaker. Like they had a pair of Nike Dunks that dropped. They have the Swarovski crystals on them.
I saw that one, yeah.
Yeah, the low tops, I think those was like retail maybe $200. Those are going for like $5,000 right now.
That's crazy.
So it's a crazy business.
Yeah, I mean, with dunks, people wasn't really on dunks like that.
Nobody paid attention to dunks. Yeah. I mean, even me growing up, I never really paid attention to dunks. I never owned dunks. I bought a pair of dunks maybe like a month or 2 months ago. The All-Star ones that dropped last year for the All-Star game.
Okay.
So I bought a pair of those. So I made the high top ones. So I may start to pay attention to dunks now. Yeah. Because I'm more Air Force One and Jordans. Okay. And start to get into like Adidas, like NMDs for me is like my favorite sneaker right now.
Really?
They're so super comfortable, man.
Yeah.
Super comfortable.
I gotta start getting back on my sneaker game.
Yeah.
I gotta start getting up there.
Yeah.
What what got you into, well, we spoke about the sneaker business. What got you into real estate? Because you said you was a paper boy at 12, which is interesting because I actually was a paper boy at the same age.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
Crazy, see?
I was a paper boy because I used to play basketball when I was younger.
Right.
And I remember in the summer, I used to always like, yo, mom, I want to be in this tournament. She didn't have it like that back then.
Right.
So she used to have to wait for the next check.
The next check, right.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do my own thing. And the lady down the block had a paper route. I used to wake up 5 in the morning to go help out. It was, but that helped get me into the, I guess you want to say, the entrepreneurial spirit.
But I think it also helped you develop your work ethic.
Yeah.
That's where it all came from. We're used to doing things a certain way. Like everybody that's coming up now, like we didn't come up in the social media era. We didn't come up in the era where you looked around, everybody was rich.
Yeah.
Like that's not how I grew up. That's not, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. We had to get out there and get it. So, I don't complain about it because I think it built us up and helped us develop into who we are now. So
Of course.
you can't complain.
Of course, dope.
Yeah.
So what got you into the business? What got you into real estate?
Real estate, I got in for 2 reasons. Wanted to have the inside track on me actually buying my own house, my first house.
Okay.
And then also being able to have my schedule be a little bit flexible so I could spend time with the kids.
Nice.
Because at the time, my daughter was going on 5 and my son was just about to be born. So like I got licensed April of 2002.
Okay.
We found the house in May. My son was born in May. And we ended up closing on the house in July of 2002. And then exactly a week later, I get laid off from work. So,
So it all works
all at the same time. Now dealing with a 3-month-old and also dealing with my daughter. Also working a full-time job. I was working at Cablevision overnights from midnight to 8:30.
Okay.
So I just wanted my schedule to be a little bit flexible so that either myself or my wife could always have the kids because we didn't want them to go to any babysitters.
Makes sense.
So that was really where it all came from.
Wow. So 2002, Femi said, yo, I'm gonna go out and get my license.
My license, yeah.
Describe your first few years in real estate.
It was tough, man. Anybody that's watched me on different podcasts, you'll hear me say that my first year I sold 1 house.
I didn't know that.
That was me buying the house and my broker taking half.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't know anything about the business. At that point, it was pretty much you learned as you went. So I knew nothing. Even me buying my first house, I didn't even do a home inspection on the house because I had no idea what the hell I was doing. And the broker that I was working with, it was a mom and pop, so he didn't really teach me too much. But I knew that there were a lot of people that were making money in the business. I just felt like I wasn't in the right place or the right environment, so I needed to try to find a way to align myself with those that were doing business, those that were actually making money in the business. So, like you said, the first couple of years were tough. You get into the business, you're not making any money, and you start to doubt yourself. And you're thinking, did I really get in this? Did I really get in the right business? And, maybe I need to go get another job. Maybe I need to just work 2 jobs and just be able to do that to support the kids, support the family. But I just always believed, and the way that I am is anything that I do, it always has to work.
Yeah.
So I don't do something and have a plan B in the background. I'm going to do it in one way or another. I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's what I did.
That's dope.
19 years, going on 20 years later, I'm still here.
Yeah. Damn, man, that's crazy. So your first year, like you said, this is way before social media. So
Yeah.
you know how social media can make everyone look like a rock star.
Everybody's rich. Everybody got a driver. Everybody got a chauffeur.
Yeah.
I don't have a chauffeur. I'm 19 years in. I drove myself here to do this. So if that tells you guys anything, it's not we get out the car, show 3 houses, and they buy 1. If that's really how it worked, we would all be rich.
We'll all be rich. We'll all be rich.
Yeah.
And so your first deal was your first home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then year 2, how many do you think you closed year 2?
Year 2, I probably did maybe like 4 or 5 deals.
Okay.
Because my second year in the business, I went to another company and started trying to figure things out. Trying to get some sort of direction, some sort of training. And, I started off at the second company for a couple of months, and then I started working with someone who had been in the business for a while. That taught me all the things not to do in the business.
Yeah.
But, I learned that from him, and, he was giving me leads, and, I was sort of trying to figure things out my second year in the business. I would say probably maybe like 4 or 5 deals.
Like 4 or
and then
5
I was still,
deals,
I was still working at Cablevision, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you would say you have basically like a mentor, in a way.
Yeah, for my second year in the business, yeah, I had a mentor. But he was so busy that there was only but so much that he could show me.
Okay.
Because a lot of people come in and they want a mentor and they're looking for somebody to be able to walk them around pretty much day in, day out. Mm-hmm. And when you're dealing with somebody that's busy, they don't really have that time to be able to do that. I mean, they can teach you certain things, and you just have to sort of take the information that they're giving you and try to tweak it and make it work for how you do things.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was pretty much what I did my second and third year. And, like I said, I saw a lot of things that the other person was doing that I didn't do and didn't fit my character and the way that I did things. So at that point, I branched off and, ended up joining Prudential, Douglas Elliman then. And, I was starting to figure things out at that point and, felt like I knew enough, even though it was only like a year and a half. I felt like I knew enough to be able to go back on my own and just get out there and do what I had to do. Because at the end of the day, you and I both know, whatever company that you work at, it all starts and stops with you.
With you, exactly.
It doesn't matter who you're working with. And, there's always going to be something about if you're working with somebody else that you're not going to like. But just always try to take the information that they're giving you, whether it's a lesson learned or whether it's, something that you're not happy about. Try to see the lesson in that and take that and, just continue to move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's pretty much what I did.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So your first 2-3 years, business started moving, right?
Yeah.
So now you're in 2006, 2007, everything's still rocking.
Right.
You know where I'm going.
I know where you're going.
2008 hit, 2009.
Right.
The kids are home, right?
Right.
You got two kids at that point.
2 kids. Yeah.
Market just completely
Market
bottoms
crashes.
out. What the hell is going through Femi's head at that point in time?
In my head, my ego is like,
of course.
Yeah. So I was figuring still, regardless of what was going on, that one way or another, I would still be able to figure it out. But when you have a mortgage, you have your kids, that you need to support and just life in general. And, your spouse is working, but they don't make enough to be able to cover everything. In my mind, I'm still thinking, you know what? I can still sell enough houses and my overhead at that point, I mean, this is back in 05 and 06, was like $10,000 a month. Because I had owned.
Overhead was $10,000 a month?
Overhead, because we had our house and then we had another property that we bought, a 2-family in Brooklyn.
Okay.
That I was putting money into, even though we had 2 tenants, it wasn't cash flowing. I was still in the red every month. So I'm saying to myself, with everything going on, that as long as I can make $10,000 a month, I can still be able to sustain. But when the market crashes, nobody's buying any houses, so there's nothing that you can do anyway.
Yeah.
Then I had a 7 Series at the time, and then I had a Range Rover, so I had a lot of things going on. You get to a point where you start to feel yourself, and you feel invincible. But when the market crashes, it sort of lets you take a step back, and you kind of have to figure things out, and you need to scale down to try to get yourself back where you need to be. And it was a rough time for a lot of us. My wife was saying to me pretty much every day that you need to go get a job.
Yeah,
and I'm saying that, yo, you know what? You don't got to worry about that. This is my job. This is my career. It's working out. At the end of the day, it really isn't because I'm not making any money.
So you was completely full-time at that point?
Yeah, I was full-time at that point.
Okay.
I was full-time when I went to Prudential, Douglas Elliman. This was October of 2004.
Okay.
I left the other place and I joined Prudential, and then I went full-time at that point. So now this is all you're doing, and I'm not getting a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks. So, it was tough. I mean, just to be able to weather the storm, like I said, you have to scale back and, you prioritize, and then you have to deal with the things that are most important.
Yeah.
The roof over your head. You don't want to lose the house that you just bought 2 years ago. You want to try to find ways to sustain that. And that's what I did. I mean, like I said, it was tough for probably 2 or 3 years, to be honest with you.
Okay. Did you wind up keeping the investment property that you had to do?
The investment property we ended up having to get rid of because if you're not making money from your real estate, you don't have money to be able to put back into something. Going into it, I wasn't as savvy or, having things figured out as much as I do now. So to have to put money into something that you're in the red every month is a very difficult thing, especially when you don't have money coming in.
Yeah.
So we had to end up getting rid of the investment properties, and like I said, sort of scaling down to be able to weather the storm and get through those rough periods and that rough patch. And like I said, we were able to, by the grace of God, and I'm still here.
Yeah, it's crazy because I had friends that was actually in the business at that point. It was the Wild West back then.
Yeah, it was.
It was in the mortgage business, and they were doing both.
Yeah.
Mortgages and real estate at the same time.
A lot of people that were doing both, doing mortgages. A lot of them were making a ton of money.
Killing.
They were killing it. I remember going to closings, and like I said, I was still very green to the business. I didn't know a lot of things, and you're seeing the mortgage places that you're going to. I remember one company that used to be in Melville, I'm not gonna name them. It was like a chop shop in there. You go in, they had each room, they got like 20 or 30 closings going on each day.
It's crazy.
And I'm saying to myself, like, something is not right. Yeah. I mean, with all the predatory lending and everything that was going on back then and the straw buyers, I had no idea, any of that stuff that was going on. But, people did what they had to do. I mean, the ones that were on that straight and narrow, are still out here, doing the mortgage business, and the ones that were shady and doing a bunch of different things, a lot of them got locked up. Yeah, because they came and did a sweep and they got rid of really all those bad apples. Yeah. So it was crazy time.
Some of them got out right when they saw everything happen. At the same time, that's what I was gonna say. So you watched the whole market.
And I saw, and some people actually committed suicide.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah, because once the market crashed, like you have a habit and you have a certain lifestyle that you're kind of used to living now. But when you don't have that money coming in now, where are you going to get it from? Yeah. And the way that you have information now, we didn't have half the stuff that we did back 2007 and 08. You didn't know anything. So now that one stream of income that you had, that dried up. You're saying to yourself, what am I going to do now? I got this nice car that I'm used to driving and I'm not trying to get rid of it. Yeah. But you need to, because reality is knocking on the door, and you need to try to figure it out now.
Dude, I knew dudes that had like 4 or 5 houses everywhere. Like they had a house for every.
Because back then it was so easy. I mean, people came out of jail one night, the next day they were pre-approved for a mortgage. It didn't even matter. Like back then, they were doing so many different things. Yeah. And like I said, I was still green and I had no idea what was going on. You're 3 years in and you're just trying to figure things out, but you just see a lot of different things going on. And it's like.
And none of it passed the eye test. I was like, I didn't even know anything. I'm like, so this something
ain't right. That's all. I kept saying to myself, something isn't right, but you know what? Let me stay over here.
Exactly.
And that's what we did. Like I said, that's why we're both still standing, after all these years. But there were so many crazy things going on. Like you said, people owning 4 or 5 houses, doing so many different things. Yeah.
Nuts. Yeah. So now the recession is pretty much over, right? So now everything's getting pretty much back to normal. How long did it take for you to get your business to say, all right, I'm doing X 20, 30 deals a year. I'm Femi the Agent. I'm banging it out right now.
I think for me, it probably took, everything happened in 07, 08. So you would say, you figure maybe like 2 or 3 years.
Like 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, okay. Because at that point, the goal always in this business is you want to be able to deal with people in the beginning, and you want that cycle when they now have to upgrade, within 5 to 7 years, you want to still be the one that they're still coming to. Yeah. And then also at that point, everything just started clicking. A lot of the people that I knew that I was telling that I was in the business, starting to refer business to me. Okay. And, like I said, a lot of the first time buyers that I was dealing with were starting to come back around. It was time now, they needed bigger space. So they started coming back to me. And then, with a combination of those two things, everything just started to click and it just started to come together. Yeah. Yeah, because I think in the beginning when you're working like 06 and 07, going into 08, when you're working out of desperation, it kind of comes across.
It comes across.
And how you're doing your business and just how you're dealing with people. And, I'm not going to say that it's not, I'm not going to say that it's not genuine, but it's just not, it's not a natural thing and things are not flowing the way that you want it to. So you're figuring, okay, so I can't make this money doing sales. Now what do I have to do? I have to become a rental agent, or I have to just rent properties. And you're figuring the things that you need to do to try to figure out the business and to try to do what you have to do to put food on the table. Yeah. And that's what I was trying to do at that point, just trying to figure it out, because, I'm saying to myself that one way or another, I just have to try to find a way to weather the storm. So like I said, you scale back and you're still doing the things that you need to do and just hoping that at some point everything is going to start to turn around.
Start to click, yeah.
And, it started to, but it was a rough patch. It was some rough times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm always interested to hear those stories, especially when it's somebody that's been 19 years is a long time to be in this business, bro.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do not stick around that long. You know
true.
that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you've seen a million come and go.
Yeah.
And
because I have a lot of people that approach me, and some of them you take on, and you tell them things. You and I both know we can lead people to water, but you can't make them drink. So
not at all.
I can give you the tools. I can tell you the things that I do on a daily basis. But unfortunately, this generation, everybody wants instant gratification,
of course.
I don't know anything about instant gratification. I knew that I had to get out there and grind to go get mine. And you tell people these are the things that they need to do. You even show them the things that you're doing.
Yeah.
And they're not putting in that work. So you get into the business, you only last 6 months. You get into the business, you maybe last a year. But unless you have that work ethic with whatever else that you're doing, it could be selling sneakers, it could be selling shoes, it could be selling tires, whatever it is. If you have that work ethic, you can always move that work ethic and go do something else. If you never have the work ethic, then there's nothing that I can do to ever give it to you.
Yeah.
I can give you so many things. I can preach to you every single day, but the work ethic is something that you and I, that we can't teach or we can't give to people.
Nah, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Like you said, where we come from, we that was instilled in us early.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I used to go shovel snow. I was waiting for the snow outside.
Yeah, so we can get out there and try to get that money.
Yeah.
And these are the things that we did. So, you watch these kids nowadays, when it snows, they're on their video games.
Dude,
none of them want to go outside. You can't find anybody to shovel. All the old ladies are struggling right now.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. So you say you have people that approach you. Are they approaching you to be like a mentor, or are they just like, yo, Femi, I see that you're killing you,
Some approach me for mentorship, and then some want, that have their licenses, want to get into the business and want to also work. And the thing about me, anybody that knows me, is I'm a straight shooter.
Yeah.
And I'm always going to tell you as it is. I'm not here to I'm not Willy Wonka. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you the real deal. So you ask my opinion on what to do based on what you're doing, and I'm going to tell you the truth. And a lot of people don't like to hear the truth, but at the end of the day, if you don't like the truth, don't ask me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear.
Okay.
Because like you said, when you're in the business that long, if you're looking to grow and to be successful, you can approach me now and I can tell you and show you the things that I do. For me, what I'm doing is I don't think that there's anything magical about what I'm doing, but I deal with people. I'm consistent, and I deal with people the way that they want to be treated, and also the way that I want to be treated. As cliche as it sounds, that works for me.
But I notice most of the successful agents all have that same
Yeah.
In any business.
It's
always about the people. Like, if you're putting the people first and you're listening to what their needs are, you're going to survive.
Yeah.
You're going to sustain.
Yeah, because any business that you're doing, especially when it's a commission-based business, you putting other people first and figuring out ways to help them solve their problems is going to determine your pay.
Yeah.
So the more people that you can help, it's always a gratifying feeling. The paycheck is always going to come. That's I don't know if you want to say the reward, but that'll always come. So the more people that you can help, it's always going to help and show, in your pay scale.
Yeah,
because,
exactly.
We're all problem solvers. So the more people that you can help, the better that it's going to be for you. And if you can't help people solve their problems when it comes to sales, then this is not the business for you. That's not the business for you.
You said a little earlier, like, especially if you're operating out of like desperation in a way, people can feel it.
They can
like
feel
that
it.
energy is always going to come
You
off.
can feel it, you can sense it, and that's not the kind of person that you want to work with, because you're saying to yourself, if this is what they're doing, how much information and how many steps are they overlooking just for them to try to get...
Just for them to get paid.
For them to get paid and get to that finish line, because they only think about that check. And, for me, people will look at me like I have 9 heads. I've talked people out of buying houses.
Same here.
And they'll look at me like, I'm like, for me, everything that I do is about the relationship. I have people that I sold houses to 17 years ago that I still speak to up till this day. So for me, that to me is more important than anything else, because they remember that I did right by them. So whenever they have a friend or a family member that's looking to do something, they're always going to think about me and they're going to refer them to me.
Yeah.
So that for me gives me life, and that, like I said, knock on wood, is why I'm still standing.
Dope. I actually just had our girl on here, the last podcast, Beth.
Oh, Beth,
and
my sister?
Yeah, Beth is Beth.
Yeah.
Love Beth.
Killing the game.
Killing it. But we were
Consistent every year, 50, 60 deals. She's out of here.
Bro, and that's not easy.
Yeah.
And I brought her here because I like to pick you guys' brains. Like when it comes, especially when it comes to the vets that's been doing it and they're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
I'm getting them in here because I want to hear what they're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And she told me that her business is based off of all referrals.
Right.
That's what she does.
Right.
Is that how you operate yours as well?
Yeah, most of my business right now, it's all referral. Yes, you still get out there and try to chase new business, but when you've dealt with as many people as I have for the last 19 years, when you work your business the right way, there can be your source of referrals. You just work your sphere of influence. Yeah. Try to find ways to stay in front of them. Make sure that they know everything that you're doing when it comes to business. Make sure that they with social media now, it makes it a little bit easier for us to be able to stay in front of all those people. So always try to find a way to stay in front of them. And then all the new people and all the business that you're trying to get that, isn't going to come to you. You just have to try to find a way to stay in front of people. And, the people that you dealt with in the past are always, it's very easy for them to sing your praises. If you do the right thing by people, they don't have a problem with going online and submitting a review, submitting a recommendation for you. And, the people that are looking for an agent, they're always going to read those reviews. They're always going to look you up before they even call you.
Before they even call you.
Before they call you, they're going to do all that research. So you just want to make sure that the information that you're putting out there and the information that's out there for you, it shows you in a positive light. And those are the people that people want to deal with. I want to deal with successful people. I'm a successful person. Yeah. Those are the people that I want to be around.
That's who you want to be in a room with, of course, yeah.
If you're a loser, I don't want anything to do with you. That's not what I want to be around. That's, the older that I get, I just need positive energy around me. I need people that are looking to do the same things that I'm doing, and I need to hang around people that are doing more than me.
Exactly.
So that I can always
be the smartest person.
Yeah, I always want to be the dumbest person in any room that I'm in, so that I can soak up some of that information. And when people see what you're doing, they don't have a problem with sharing the information with you. When people respect what you do and they see how you're moving, people don't have a problem with sharing the information with you. Yeah. But when you're out there, moving around like a buffoon, they don't want anything to do with you. They're not going to share any information with you anyway. Of course. And you think that you know everything anyway, so you don't need the 2 cents that I'm trying to give you. You don't need it.
We see that out there. We see it out there.
We see it every day.
Yeah. What another crazy thing that I admire. So this business is how this business can get. We can lose time with the family because you're always grinding.
Right.
You just brought your son on.
Yeah.
Young Fem.
Yeah.
What made him get into the business?
For him, I had nothing to do with him getting his license.
No?
Let's get that out there now.
Okay.
Because you and I both know, even growing up and me being a very hard-headed person, for those who don't know, anything that you tell me to do, I'm not gonna do just for the reason because you're telling me to do it. So I never wanted to push my son into business. That was something that he wanted to do. He went and got his license and then let me know about it, and then I brought him on. Okay. Because for me, it's very easy for me to tell him go get his license, and I'll you have me as a cheat code, and I'll make things easier for you. But unless that's what he really wants to do, kids are not going to do it. Yeah. So for me, it kind of takes me back 19 years because he's 19 years old now. So it's a lot of what I did back when I started the business, I'm kind of referring back to now to try to help him because we get set in our ways and we get set doing business our own specific way. But a lot of these people that are coming in that don't know anything, that are green, when they're asking you questions, you have to try to show them the right way. And, that's what I'm trying to do with him. And, for him, it's been working. So as long as he continues to pay attention, when you're dealing with a 19-year-old, everything for them is in one ear and out the other. Yeah, especially when you're dealing with boys, right?
Of course.
So, but, so far so good. He's, he's trying to find his own way. He's trying to carve his own niche, and, he's doing that, and he's going to school. So right now he's just, he's figuring it out.
Now, did you get that talk from mom? Don't have my son coming back here mad at you.
Yeah, of course, because that's the last thing that I want to hear. I don't want to go home now and now I got to deal with my wife and I got to hear her mouth. So you try to tell with the kids or anybody that you're mentoring, you just want to try to show them the way, and you hope that they take the information and run off and go do their own thing, because. Anything, like you and I can have a conversation, whatever you are doing, I'm always going to take that and then I'm going to try to cater it to the way that I do business.
Of course, yeah.
And that's what I always try to tell people. It's like you have a lot of trainers out there, a lot of teachers, a lot of mentors that say and do a lot of different things. You just have to take the bits and pieces and try to cater it to how you do your business. Yeah, and as long as you can do that, people can tell when what you're doing is coming across genuine. If I feel like it's fake and I feel like you're coming across and you want to be the expert and you feel like you're better than me. Those are not the kind of people that I want to work with.
Exactly.
We always look for like-minded people, right? So I'm always going to look for somebody who is very similar to me or has a lot of the same, I don't want to say traits, but just a lot of, not even beliefs. Just, you're looking for that common ground.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so as long as you can find that common ground with a lot of the buyers and the sellers that you're dealing with, they'll be able to see that, and those are the people they'll find, they'll gravitate towards you. Because that's the energy that you're putting out there.
That's the energy that you're putting out. It took me a while to even realize that, like, yo, you could turn down business.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you would take on, I'm pretty sure you've been there, take on a nightmare client that you know was never going to gel.
But you know what it is? It's always, in the beginning, when you don't have too much going on, you take on anything and you take on everything. And that one person can suck so much energy and life out of you that you don't have any time to do anything else. So don't ever feel that you need to take on everything. I mean, in the beginning, when you're first getting started, you really don't have too much of a choice because you don't have any other business, right? But the more successful that you start to become, you have to realize that everybody is not always going to be for you.
Yeah.
And you can't help everybody because you have some people that, regardless of what you tell them, they always feel like they know more than you.
Yeah.
So when I come across those types of people, we can shake hands and let's agree to disagree, but I'm not gonna be able to help you.
Yeah.
Because I already can feel that this is going to be a problem.
Yeah. I have
and you beat me up on the commission, you beat me up on everything. And I know it's not gonna go anywhere. And you're going to give me the most amount of problems.
I had one client that took me almost a year and a half to close them.
Wow.
For some reason, I just couldn't let this client go. And my wife was like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Just let it go.
Just let it go. But it was, maybe it was an ego thing.
It was an ego. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to the point to when we closed, I was like, yo, I think I need a break. Just from the business.
Yeah.
And bro, and even the commission, I remember I got the commission check. The commission wasn't even that great.
Wow.
And I was like, what the fuck did I just do for a year
For
and a half?
all this time.
For all this time.
Yeah.
I missed out on other clients because I was just so concentrated. I'm like, I'm gonna find in this house, like today is the day.
And even time with your family. You start to miss that time because you're so concentrated and so locked in on this person that you're missing out on so many things.
Yeah.
And like you said, at the end of the day, we always have to realize that we are running a business. We're all entrepreneurs. We're all, you have your own brand. So at the end of the day, it's all about, wins and losses and certain things that you just need to cut your losses and just stay away from it.
Yeah.
Or just get away from it because it's not, nothing is going to come from it.
No, nothing. I never got a referral from.
You got nothing. Yeah.
I never got anything from that at all.
Yeah. And you wasted all that time. A year
and a half, bro. Crazy. Crazy.
And those are the people that are going to have the worst things to say about you.
Yeah.
They put up so many objections that they put up in front of you, and you were still able to overcome all those objections and still be able to get them to the finish line, and they have nothing nice to say about you.
Nothing nice to say. Nothing. And I remember
you can't win them all, man.
On Facebook saying that the mother wanted to sell house. I was like, I'm not going near that one.
I'm not even going to respond.
I don't even want that energy near me. Yeah. I'm good. I'm good on that one.
Yeah.
What have you, because like I said, 19 years, bro. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, right? That's what they say.
Yes.
But I know that you're not that type of old dog that you can't teach new tricks to. What has young Femi brought to you as far as, because you said now you're going back 19 years mentally.
Right.
Is there anything that he's helping you adjust in your business? Or anything
really,
that you
really just, I think for me now it's probably more about patience.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting, trying to work on my patience because when you're dealing with somebody who's brand new, whatever you say, you're not going to say it once or twice.
Yeah.
It's going to be a couple of times. And, for me, I don't have a problem with saying something once or twice, but after 3 or 4 times, I start to get annoyed and now I just want to shut down or, I don't even want to be bothered. So, you kind of have to go back to that and you have to learn patience, when you're dealing with people because, the business that we're in, we do this so much, you're doing 30 or 40 deals, 50 deals a year, but you're dealing with some of these buyers who are buying for the first time. You're dealing with some of these sellers who are selling for the first time. So it's like we have to learn that patience and remember, and then also sometimes go back to remembering how they feel now while they're going through their process.
Yeah.
Certain things for us is second nature, and, you'll assume that they know, but 9 times out of 10, they don't.
They don't, yeah.
Even though they'll come across like they know everything, it's like we always have to remember that. And that's some of the things, I'm not going to say that I struggle with it, but I just always have to remember, you just have to
slow it down a little
bit. You have to slow it down a little bit and just always remember the patience.
Okay.
So, but also in the business, it doesn't matter how long that you're in it, you have to keep an open mind as well.
Yeah.
Because you and I both know a lot of agents who are doing this 2 or 3 years and think they've arrived and they know everything.
That they know everything. Yeah.
I'm 19 years in and I still don't know half of
Yeah.
anything when it comes to the business. So
But that's
you
why I
just
love it,
always,
because you can always just keep learning in this
you can
business.
always
It's
keep
never-
learning. You know, anybody that you're having conversations with, you can always learn.
Yeah.
And then there's so much education out there. So there's always something new for you to learn every single day. I think once you get to that point that you feel like you know it all, you know, your business is definitely going to suffer. And
Yeah.
you just in general, you're going to suffer because you feel like you know everything and you don't need anybody to tell you anything. Yeah, that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So. Even the people that walk around and feel like they're perfect, I want nothing to do with them. Because I'm not perfect. I'm not, I'm far from it. So, anybody that can make mistakes, but you can own it, I'm cool with that, and we can get past it.
That comes with time too, though.
It comes with time. That's why I'm saying, like, the older that I'm getting, certain things we start to realize now.
Yeah.
We don't realize in the beginning. Me getting in the business when I was 28. You still felt like you knew everything.
Yeah.
You had a nice car. You were doing all these different things, but you just have to just always keep an open mind with everybody that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Yeah, just always keep an open mind
Now,
and learn patience.
Learn a lot of patience. Learn a lot, especially in this business, because you're going to be the bartender, you're going to be the therapist, you're going to be
marriage counselor,
everything.
We're gonna be doing everything. So you just always, when you're dealing with sketchy situations like that, or people that are going through a rough patch, just always try to do your best to remain neutral, and try to be as, like I said, as neutral as possible when you're dealing with those types of situations, because you're dealing with two different personalities and you have to cater to both personalities and make sure that they both see what you're seeing and they both don't forget the bigger picture, of what we're trying to do, and that is for us to get to the finish line. So just always just try to learn patience. Yeah.
What's next for you, bro? Are you thinking about building a team?
Working on building the team now. And still just doing investing. So
I was gonna ask about that too.
Yeah, because I buy and flip properties. I try to do maybe 3 or 4 a year.
It's good.
Along with also.
Are you still holding any, or?
Yeah, I have a multi-fam that I have now that I'm holding, and everything else I'm just buying a rehab to try to build up so that I can try to go into bigger and better things. But
Nice.
I want it to still be within a real estate because I love what I do. So just continuing to do the business, and the people that reach out to me that need advice or just looking for some sort of guidance, I'm still always open to that, and just trying to help people. But like I said, if you approach me or you ask me questions, just always know you're always going to hear the truth. You're not going to hear what you want to hear.
Yeah.
But the business in itself is a great business. You just get to meet so many great people, so many great agents like yourself, and just a lot of the buyers and sellers that we deal with. A lot of them I have, relationships with now, and I still, like I said, 17 years in, 18 years in, I still speak to some of those people up till this day.
That's amazing, man.
So that for me is everything. Just always trying to maintain some sort of integrity in the business. And as long as you do that, you can always move around freely. You can go wherever you want to go. And when you least expect it, your phone is always going to ring. With them always having a referral for you. So just always do the right thing by people. That's the number one rule that I always tell people.
Do you do any cold calling at all, or that's just cold calling is not?
I've done cold calling. For me, it doesn't really, it's not my thing. I like more door knocking. So I always like that face-to-face approach.
Face-to-face, yeah.
Because I always feel like, for me, I can always talk my way out of a situation. But I feel like on the phone, it's very easy for you to find a reason or an excuse to get off the phone.
Of course, yeah.
So, but I know some people that all they do is cold call.
I
know a lot of people that all they do is cold call.
I want to say that, because when me and Beth had our conversation, it felt like I was being anti cold calling. I love my cold callers. You guys are dope at doing it.
Yeah, I respect a lot of the people that that's all they do. I know a lot of people that all they do is cold call. They don't even work with buyers.
Yeah.
And they're still doing 40, 50, 60 deals a year. They're still beasting it. So when you come into the business, you have to figure out what your niche is. So for me, I feel like I'm the neighborhood mayor. So I feel like being in front of people, talking to people, just being face to face with them, hugging babies, kissing babies. That's kind of my thing. Just always being with the people, and whatever problems that they have, I feel like, just me having my conversations with them, I can always help them solve their problems. And, like I said, with prospecting, it's the same thing. You can come into the business and just cold call. You can come into the business and just door knock, or you can do a combination of both. So just always figure out where your strong points are and put a lot of time and energy into that. But then also work on your weak points too, because if you can get that weak point going, you know, you're not missing out on that income too. So there's a lot of different streams and a lot of different ways to get business.
Yeah.
Just always make sure that your strong point, whether that's the phones or that's talking to people, make sure that you practice that. Make sure that you continue to put time and energy into that. But then also whatever your weak points are, you have to try to attack that as well, so that you don't leave that. You don't want to leave that off the table, because that's money there. That's money there. So you just always try to find ways to, you know, just try to find ways to get better every day. Yeah. So, you know, if your weak point is getting up early in the morning, I'm not a morning person. Anybody that knows me, I try to work on getting up earlier. You know, exercising. You know, I know the guy that we know, Mike Tatino, the home inspector, who gets up at 4 o'clock every morning. Mike I'm not there.
I think Mike pre-records those. I'm gonna start thinking
I think he does too.
I think he's pre-recording.
And every video he does, he always has no shirt on, so I think he's selling moisture. But we're gonna talk about that later.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Shout out to my guy, Mike Tatino, Safety
that's
First.
my brother, man.
That's my guy. But everybody has a different niche, so, you know, get up early. I'm still trying to work on that. You know, if you can get up 5 o'clock in the morning, do some role playing with some people before you get on the phones, that will help you. And like I said, if prospecting on the phones is not your thing, then work on, you know, knocking on the doors. But there's a lot of different ways to get business. And then you have some that just pay for their business. They just pay
like certain apps,
like Zillow and Realtor.com and some of these other sites. You know, you'll pay for your business. You know, there's nothing wrong with that either. But once you do that for a certain period of time, you have to try to find a way to figure out how to generate that same business without having to pay for it.
Without having to pay for it,
Yeah. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with starting off that way, but always know that there should always be an end point for you. Yeah. Not that I'm 6 or 7 years into the business and I'm still doing the same thing. Yeah. If you're still doing that same thing, then something is wrong, or you're not building your business the way that you need to.
And because sometimes the ROI doesn't even really add
the return
up.
on investment is really very important. Always remember, guys, at the end of the day, we're all business people. So, you know, you could operate your business, and 1 year it could be, you know, a lot of losses, but the goal should be for the following year for you to operate now from, you know, from a positive point. Yeah. And you always want to try to work on that. So I think as long as you can try to find ways to grow your business every year and try to work on, you know, making more money than you did the previous year, then you'll be okay.
Yep, yes, sir. You heard it from the
because that's the name. That's the name of the game. At the end of the day, we're all business people, and you are running a business, and you know it's your bread and butter, and it's your time. So, what is your time worth to you? Yeah. So always keep that in mind when you're coming across those nightmare clients. Always keep that in mind too. The amount of time that they're going to take away from you, that you can say, you know what, let me put that to the side and go deal with somebody else who sees what I'm trying to do and buys into me and buys into the way that I do things. Those are the kind of people that I want to do business with. Of course, yeah. If you don't buy into me and what I'm selling, then that's fine. Yeah. There's a bunch of people down the block that will do whatever you want them to. They'll discount their commissions. They'll jump over backwards. They'll whatever you want them to do. And
listen to the professionals, right? Like the easiest, the smoothest transactions usually always happens when they listen to exactly.
When they listen, they trust the process and they listen to what we tell them. I had a situation with someone that was referred to me, and she was living in her sister's house. Listen to this. Her sister lived there with her son, but wanted the sister to vacate in 30 days and served her with an eviction notice.
She served her with a notice?
Her sister. So she needed to find another place to live, and she was referred to me by someone else that I had dealt with. And it just so happened that I had a house that I was working on, and the house was empty, and it fit. After showing her a bunch of things, this fit the criteria of what she was looking for. Yeah. It was in a different town from where she wanted to be, but you know, I showed her a bunch of different houses, and then I took her to that house and I showed her. I said that I wanted to get her opinion on it, and she actually loved the house. Wow. I was able to put her in contact with one of my mortgage guys, and we were able to get the deal done from beginning to end in 17 days.
17
days. We actually ended up beating, you know, that eviction thing, because she was in another week ago. She was going to be evicted.
Like literally, like the
literally sheriff. They were going to put her on the street, everything. And this was her sister, guys. So
it's gonna be an interesting Christmas.
It was going to be So, but I was able to get that done, and I think a lot of that just has to do with people buying into you and people listening to you. You know, she listened to me. I was able to refer a few attorneys to her. She ended up taking one of my recommendations. I referred a few mortgage people to her. She was able to take that recommendation. And she listened to everything that I said. And like I said, 17 days later, we were clear to close and we ended up closing on the house. So, you know, it just has a lot to do with people listening and buying into you. You know, you have some people who say they told us not to take any recommendations from the agents, but a lot of the ones who are getting that advice, those people that are giving you advice don't even own homes.
They don't even own,
They don't own homes. They live in the basement with their parents. And these are the people that you're taking advice from. So to me, it never made any sense. And, you know, for me, at the end of the day, it's my name. It's my reputation. So anytime that I'm referring somebody to you, they have to treat you the same way I treat you or better. And if they don't, I'm not dealing with them.
I'm not even doing any business with them.
Because for me, it's my name and it's my brand, and I'm not going to do it. If you're going to tarnish my reputation, I want nothing to do with you.
I'm pretty sure you get calls from lenders all the time.
All the time,
Everyone that wants to do
everybody's looking. Everybody's looking for business, and even, you know, lenders and people that are looking to, you know, try to do business with us. You guys have to have a different approach as well. You know, calling me and say that you have a product, you know, you can get the deal done within a certain period of time. All that sounds good. And I've taken some of you guys on, and you guys have been the biggest disappointment for me. So you guys have to find a different angle to come at people like me and Sean. You know, maybe you have a qualified person that's looking for an agent and doesn't have an agent. Now you can more get my attention, because it should be a business about reciprocation. And, you know, leverage. So at the end of the day, if you have somebody that's looking, that doesn't have a person that they're working with, you put them in contact with me, you're going to see the way that I work. And now you're doing that, it'll put me on your radar. And now I'm going to refer business to you, because I can watch how you do. And then I'm also going to refer business to you, because that's just the type of person that I am. I'm not one that just takes and takes and takes, and I'm not going to give back. That's just not me. So
and I'm not even the type of agent. So I'll have people that come to me with different pre-approvals of lenders that I have no idea who they are. And, you know, I'm not going to try to push you to go to anyone that I know. I'm like, all right, we'll give him a shot.
We'll give it a shot.
If your guy is that good and I watch his whole transaction go smoothly, I'm going to refer
business to him.
And I started doing that. I'm like, it's one guy, I think I met him once at the closing for the person that came.
Oh, wow.
And I gave him 3 clients already, and he's been good about all 3 of them. Like you said, come to me with a different
approach. You got to come to me with a different approach. You know, what people like us, once we get so busy, you're very skeptical about the people that you give your business to, that you put your business in their hands. Because I've had the whole song and dance with some lenders that have come to me and say, I can get the deal done within 30 days. And I can give them the cleanest deal ever. And the cleanest deal is somebody that has 750 credit score, has their money in the bank, the DTI is very low, the cleanest deal ever. I had one situation where a lady was going to Bank of America because she said she banked there. And I kept telling her, I have these other lenders that I deal with. I think you should go here. No. They told me you could get the deal done within 30 days. Okay, no problem. 75 days later, we still haven't closed. But we ended up closing it. But these are things, because we're not here to knock anybody. If you are about your business and you do your business, I have no problem with dealing with you. I have no problem with doing business with you. But when you've been burnt in the past, you are kind of skeptical about using that same person because of their work ethic and the way that they do things. Because at the end of the day, it's our names that, you know, and it's our reputation. So I'm very skeptical about, you know, attaching any and anybody to my name. And I know that you are too.
Bro,
so people need to understand that. You know, that's why we're very skeptical about some of you guys who call us and want to tell us that you can get a deal done for cheaper than whatever the interest rate is that everybody's giving. And you can do a deal for cheaper than, no. Anytime when something sounds too good it sounds too good to be true, it 9 times out of 10 it usually is.
It usually is.
So,
nah, yo, Fem, thanks for coming through, bro. This is dope, man. I think
no problem. Thanks for having me.
I always learn a lot from all the people that have come on here, and I learned a lot from you. I do need one thing though.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm trying to figure out this work-life balance, right? Yeah. That's the issue that I'm having right now. I need some advice from the OG.
You asking the wrong person, my brother. Because I still haven't figured it out yet. I mean, but the one thing that I can tell you is, when you're in those family situations, try to do your best to disconnect from the business. Even if it's just for a day. You know, like me, I'm always out of the country at least 2 or 3 times a year. This was before COVID. When you go away, when you have that time, you know, when you time block the week to go away, when you're there, you know, with your family or whoever you're there with, just always try to stay in the moment. And try to enjoy that time. You know, the hardest thing for a lot of us is always the time management and trying to balance work life with family life and having a social life if you have that as well. You always just have to, you got to time block everything.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to do now. Even with going to the barber, you know, I would go to the barber and sit there for an hour or two. But I can't deal with that anymore because my time is too valuable. So I don't have a problem with paying somebody more for them to block out a specific time for me. And that's what you have to do with everything. So whether it's barber appointment, whether it's going to acupuncture, whether it's date night with your wife, whatever it is, always time block and always try to be in the moment. And if you have to disconnect for an hour or two or whatever it is, disconnect. There's always people that you can find, you know, somebody like myself you can reach out to who can handle certain things for you while you're away. And when you go away, it should be the same thing, because if you don't do that, you know, you spent $5,000 or $10,000 to go on vacation if you're going to be on the phone all the time. And I hear it a lot from my wife. What is the purpose of you being here? If you're not going to enjoy that time, then what is the purpose? Like for me, anybody who knows me knows that, you know, I was born in Brooklyn. I lived in Nigeria for 8 years and then I came back. So my early part of my childhood, everything for me was about grinding and just about trying to get up enough money to be able to buy a house. Okay, now that you've done that, now what's the next thing? And there's always going to be something else that we're chasing. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm 47 now. I didn't take my first vacation till I was 28 or 29. Because like I said, when we were younger, my dad had 5 of us to take care of. So he couldn't take us to the places that we wanted to go to. Only place I remember going to was Washington, D.C. We went to the White House. So I never left the country other than going to Nigeria and back. But I never had those things. So it's like if you're spending that amount of money to go away or to do certain different things, you have to try to find a way to stay in the moment. And like I said, whether it's an hour or two that you're disconnected, the world is not going to end. Even if it's a problem that buyer has or that seller has. Sometimes you'll find that if you stay out of the situation, even if they're reaching out to you, it's always going to find a way to work itself out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you'll have people that'll reach out to you and say, you know what, Sean, I don't have enough money for this closing. You know, can you cut the commission? You don't always have to respond to those. So like anybody that knows me, I'm always very accessible. And you text me within 5 or 10 minutes, I'm going to respond. But sometimes you need to step back and let the situation work itself out, because if a seller's selling their house, they're not going to let them being short not let that deal happen.
Exactly,
Because now all of a sudden, miraculously, they don't find the money that they needed to get the deal done. Or even a buyer, it's the same thing. They're going to find ways to get that situation settled. But the problem for us sometimes is, you know, like I said, especially when you're new in the business, people will always come to the agent first. So when they're dealing with an attorney, especially when it's an attorney that you don't know, they're always going to tell you to hit up the agent. They're making such a big check, and the attorneys feel like, you know, they hate us and they feel like we're making all the money. So they're always going to tell the homeowner or the buyer to always hit up the agent, you know, dip in their pocket. But it's like, you have no idea how much time I spent on this deal. You have no idea what it took for us to even get to this point. So, you know, it's very disrespectful for them to do that, but they're always going to do that.
They're always going to do that, yeah.
So sometimes, like I said, disconnecting yourself from the situation when a problem arises, give yourself a little bit of time, and 9 times out of 10, it's going to end up solving itself anyway, and enjoy the moment that you're in. So you go to a basketball game with your daughter, enjoy that time. You're at the circus with her, you're on vacation, whatever it is that you're doing, time block it. You know, if you want to let your client know beforehand that you're going to be unavailable between these hours, or you're going to be unavailable from, you know, from these days, you sort of give them the heads up. So and those people should, you know, you have people that are going to respect it, and you have some people that just don't, regardless of what the situation is. So just always, you know, the people that you have that relationship with, give them the heads up so that they're going to figure out a way to handle whatever they need to handle, and everything else, whether it's the attorney that handles it, let them handle it and just stay out of it and just enjoy whatever it is that you're doing. Because when we don't, if you get that nightmare phone call that a deal is dying, you're on vacation, okay, this $20,000 check is about to go.
Get back on the plane.
And now that just ruins the whole vacation, because it's going to come across in your attitude, it's going to come across in your body language, and now you just ruined the vacation for everybody else. So it's like they've been looking forward to this time away from everything for all this time, and now you're here, and now you can't even enjoy it. It's like, what's the point of what we're doing?
Nah, that's true. That's true.
So that took me a long time to learn, and I'm still struggling with it. Anybody that knows me, I struggle with that a lot, but we just always have to remember, I mean, you look at some of the things that's happened within the last year or 2 years, none of us are promised tomorrow. So at the end of the day, enjoy that time that you have with your friends, enjoy that time that you have with your family, and time block it. Make them feel like they are the most important things to you that's going on right then and there. Everything else can wait. Everything else can wait. It's important, but it's not that important.
Yeah.
You know, if you disconnect for an hour or two, the world is not going to end.
Yeah.
Everything is still going to go on. And things always find a way to work themselves out.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So we just have to stop operating, like I said, we have to stop being so quick to respond anytime a problem happens.
Yeah.
You know, people can usually always figure it out one way or another.
was
And if they
figured
can't, you know, you'll get to it when you get to it.
Yeah.
So, because you're not going to disconnect from the situation altogether. You're just disconnecting for that little bit of time where you've promised your wife that you were going to take her out to a Broadway play, or your daughter, you were going to take her to the circus, or, you know, your family, you guys were going to go away for 3 days or whatever it is. So just always enjoy that time. Because if you're one that goes away once a year, if something happened on that deal, now you just lost that time. Now you got to wait till next year. You got to wait a whole nother year. Then what was the point of even why you're doing what you're doing? What's the point?
What's the point?
Yeah. So we just always have to remember that. And like I said, I still struggle with it. I still haven't gotten this down pat. So guys don't think that I'm some sort of expert or guru on this, but we just have to try to find a way to enjoy life. We work a little bit too hard, and you know, the amount of time that we give to our clients, to our sellers, and to our buyers, whenever we allocate that time for ourselves, we need to be able to enjoy it. And if we can't, then what is the point of what we're doing?
What's the point of even doing it? Yeah. Huh? That's right. Yeah. That's right. Man, I appreciate it, bro.
No problem.
Thanks for coming through, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Definitely appreciate it, bro.
Yes, sir.
Femi The Agent. Yo, Fem, tell them how they can get in contact with you.
Femi The Agent on all platforms, and my cell 917-337-3727. You need me, I'm here.
There you go. Free game, free game. Before I get off, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification button, make sure you give the thumbs up.
Like and subscribe. We need to run this episode up, y'all.
We need to run it.
Run the numbers up. Let's go.
There you go. Yo, Fem, I appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.